Biggest news coming across the wire today is that Arte Moreno has announced that he will be exploring the possible sale of the Halos after owning the franchise for 20 years. He acquired it from the Walt Disney Company back in 2003, and what a run he's had. We'll talk about that momentarily, but here is the official statement released by the Angels and Arte this morning. It's been a great honor and privilege to own the Angels for 20 seasons. As an organization, we have worked hard to provide fans an affordable and family-friendly ballpark experience while fielding competitive lineups, which included some of the game's all-time greatest players. Of course, we know who they're talking about there, although this difficult decision was entirely our choice and deserved a great deal of thoughtful consideration. My family and I have ultimately come to the conclusion that now is the time. Throughout this process, we will continue to run the franchise in the best interest of our fans, employees, players, and business partners. Talk about those two all-time great players he referenced. One of those, of course, being Mike Trout, and this is what he had to say about the news this morning.
Looking back, obviously, I've been here my whole career. You know, had some great times, you know, with Arte. You know, he took care of me, my family. I appreciate all he's done for me. And, you know, it's, you know, I guess he's moving on.
It might be hard to answer this at the moment, but you've been the face of this team for a long time. Long term, short term, what do you want to see from the Angels?
You know, like I said, I'm just still starting to process everything. You know, I think you know, once we find out who you know, who buys it, who purchases it, and whenever that is, that's definitely conversations you're gonna have to have. So.
As you can see, the players led by Mike Trout still, as he mentioned, digesting that information coming in. Certainly something, maybe it was out there a little bit, but when you actually do get the news, something that needs to be thought about and processed over the next couple days. One thing is certain, though, Arte and Carol have done tremendous work, Bobby, in the community with the Angels Baseball Foundation. But when you look at what's been done on the field, what a run that the Angels have had over the last 20 years. 6 division titles, the 3rd most wins in the American League during his tenure, behind the Yankees and Boston Red Sox, 1,599.
An amazing number. And, you know, just to put it in perspective, for whatever it's worth, Arte's been here for 20 years working very hard to win games, to have this organization be the pride of the community. Well, you know, Timeless sort of worked real hard up the street. He worked for 20 years in a Dodger uniform. He ended with 1,599 wins, the same number that Arte has today. It's an amazing amount of wins. It's a credit to him and all the people who have worked with him, for him, to put that many wins on the board here in Orange County.
And Arte had a passion for the fans, but a passion to win. And you cannot argue with the fact that he went out there and he spent money trying to get the right pieces here to build a championship team. And unfortunately, that never came to fruition under his tenure. But when you look at what's going on, we saw some of the uncertainty in the clubhouse with Mike Trout. You had a chance to go through an ownership change as a manager with the Texas Rangers. What are some of the motions this team is going to go through over the next couple weeks, couple months?
First off, that was a different era.
Yeah.
So everybody didn't have to answer and everybody didn't have to know what was going on. Now everyone's in the know and everyone needs to have an answer, at least a question to a question when it's asked. And this team, when it's all said and done, this version, 2022, has gone through more change, more adversity, more crazy happenstance than any team I've ever experienced, and this is just another one that they'll get through.
Yeah, you look at Shohei Ohtani's tenure here, 4 different managers, 2 GMs, and now 2 owners. So certainly a lot of change going on, and this just is another chapter for the Angels organization. As we